Recently, there's a trend going around on TikTok claiming that Naruto is a horrible piece of literature and it's full of plot holes. For example, Madara used the Susanoo without any eyes. Because he was blind, he shouldn't be able to use it. Another example is that Kaguya ate a fruit that gave her powers including chakra when chakra didn't even exist until Hagoromo, which is her son. And the other one is, why did DMS Kakashi? Even though apparently if you have the dual Mangekyo Sharingan, you should be able to keep using the Susanoo forever once you've used the Susanoo at least once, right? So why did DMS Kakashi lose his Susanoo or DMS? And apparently these three things make it a horrible piece of literature and a plot hole. So first, let's look at how to obtain the Susanoo with no eyes. Number 1, you need the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Number 2, you need to be a member of the Uchiha clan. Number 3, you need to have enough chakra. Number 4, you need to have used the Susanoo while you had the EMS. That way, if you lose an eye or if you lose both eyes, you can still use it forever. When Madara used the Susanoo with no eyes, he achieved all 4 requirements. He used the Susanoo when he was alive, he used it when he was resurrected, he used it many times before he was blind. Madara eventually obtained both of Obito's eyes, which turned into the Rinnegan. Kakashi had 1 Sharingan eye of Obito, and Obito also had 1 Sharingan eye. However, Madara stole both of their 1 Sharingan eyes each to obtain the Rinnegan. Then, eventually Naruto created a regular eye via hacks and gives it to Kakashi. It's important to note here that Madara had both of Obito's physical eyes. It was the spiritual eyes that we're going to talk about later that enabled Kakashi to have his DMS. Why didn't Obito use the Susanoo when he had DMS, or the dual Mangekyo Sharingan? Jubito, in other words 10 Tails Obito, had 1 Rinnegan and 1 Sharingan, not DMS. Only Sasuke's eye has been explained to be both a Sharingan and a Rinnegan eye. Furthermore, Obito did not have a completed 10 Tails. His was missing some of the beast. Additionally, he did not have the healing factor that Madara had from the Hashirama cells, so his body could not handle the power. Hence, the cracking of the skin. So Jubito and any form of Obito prior has not met the regular requirements for using the Susanoo. So after Jubito was defeated, Naruto heals Obito, which then gives Obito dual Mangekyo Sharingan. Unfortunately for Obito, he states he needs an enormous amount of chakra to get to Kaguya, because Team 7 had lost Sasuke, and then he takes them there. But he states if he runs out of chakra while he's there, he's done for, which was a bit of foreshadowing. With the help of Sakura, Obito manages to track down Sasuke and teleports him back. Now, Sasuke could have used his Susanoo straight off the bat, but he didn't have enough chakra. It wasn't until Obito died does he say, my ocular powers are back. Then he immediately activates Susanoo, proving that you need enough chakra to sustain Susanoo, or your ocular jutsu for that matter. So DMS Obito, which is after Jubito, wasted all of his chakra to try and get Sasuke back. So that is why Obito with the dual Mangekyo Sharingan couldn't use the Susanoo. Now after Obito's death, he spiritually re-obtains both of his Sharingan eyes back. Then Obito gives Kakashi his eyes via chakra, because Madara has the physical ones, and explains that it's only temporary. Because Kakashi has both eyes and a ton of chakra from Obito's dead spirit, he can use the Susanoo, which requires a ton of chakra. Now this is not a plot hole because we know that spirits, remember Hagoromo, literally just came from the dead, like it's a spirit of Hagoromo. Hagoromo's been dead for ages physically, but his spirit still wanders the earth, as stated in the data books. Ghost form or spirit form Hagoromo gave Naruto and Sasuke their 6-path powers. The eyes that Kakashi has when he's using DMS are not real. They're the spiritual chakra eyes. And Obito explains this and says, just before I cross over to the next world, I'll give you a time-limited Mangekyo Sharingan. So Kakashi had met all the requirements because he had obtained Obito's dual Mangekyo Sharingan. He had enough chakra now because he received chakra from Obito's dead spirit. Now he can use it for the first time. But the reason he did not keep it forever. So in order to keep using the Susanoo, you need to have EMS. In order to obtain the EMS or Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, you need first to have the eyes of a different Uchiha member, and you yourself need to be an Uchiha. So let's look into the manga history. First, Madara came to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. However, Madara suddenly started suffering odd symptoms. Like I told you just now, these eyes are very special. The more you use them, the quicker they become sealed, with the end result being total darkness. That is the fate of the Mangekyo Sharingan in exchange for obtaining incredible ocular powers. that power shuts itself down, cutting off the light forever. In order to reclaim the light, Madara tried all the methods he could find, but nothing was effective. So it's consistent that if you don't have eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, then it will just fade. So Madara stole his own brother's eyes, and he obtained a new light, and it never faded again. And this was called the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. By gaining a new host, the younger brother's eyes obtained eternal light. Furthermore, another change emerged. Distinctly new ocular jutsu were born from those eyes. However, this give and take could only take place within and between clan members. So here's the two things that I just mentioned previously. In order to obtain the EMS, in other words, to have the Mangekyo Sharingan permanently, you need to be a clan member, and you also have to have transplanted your brother's eyes, or in other words, another clan member's eyes into your own. Kakashi is not a clan member, neither did he physically transplant those eyes. They were spiritual chakra only eyes. No different to Hagoromo giving Sasuke and Naruto a random chakra power boost. Very different to actually transplanting. So I don't know why people are saying that's a plot hole, that DMS Kakashi can't use Susanoo anymore, or that he no longer had the dual Mangekyo Sharingan, because it's been consistent that if you use up the eye and all the chakra with it, it will die unless you obtain the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So if Kakashi was an Uchiha clan member and Obito gave him his real eyes, then it would have been permanent, and then he could use the Susanoo as many times as he likes after. So the God Tree had a fruit which Kaguya ate, and it was draining chakra from the world before Hagoromo gave everyone chakra. So is this lazy writing? No, this is not lazy writing, and the reason for that is Kaguya's tree that she ate the fruit from had absorbed nature energy. This was explained by Pa when he was training Naruto in how to use Sage Mode. He explained that there is energy all around us, in the air, in the atmosphere, in everything to do with the planet. And then there's energy from within. This is known as chakra. People that use Sage powers draw on the power of the entire planet. Think of the energy that the Earth core would produce. And imagine if you could tap into that power. That is why a lot of Hashirama's powers are to do with nature. That is why the Osutsuki are so devout on growing these trees and getting them to devour the planet. Like, why would they get them to devour planets? There's no point in devouring the planets if they're just devouring the people with chakra, right? They could just go hunt down people. But that's not all they do. They devour both the energy of the planet and they hunt down people that are significantly powerful. That's why Momoshiki tried to kidnap the Ninetales. And that's also why they hunted down Killer Bee as well, because they were looking for large energy sources, in other words, snacks, to fuel their power. So in conclusion, all three of these theories are far from plot holes. They were clearly explained. I think I've clearly explained them. I think if you read the manga, you would also see that they have been clearly explained. Why Madara was able to use the Susanoo, because he has the EMS. Why Kakashi lost the Susanoo, because he did not have the EMS. He only had the dual Mangekyo Sharingan, which was a spiritual form, and he didn't actually have the physical dual Mangekyo Sharingan. Neither is he a clan member. Lastly, the reason why Kaguya obtained power is because there's still energy in the earth and everything around it called sage energy. Not all energy comes from chakra in the Naruto verse. Otherwise, you've been watching Naruto with your eyes closed. So this was very easily debunked because anyone who actually reads the manga, like myself, or the novels, would know how this all works. And I hope you will now know too. Peace!